All right, man. Torture Talk after hours. So Jalopy Bungus, he did a video breaking down Man at the Garden. I want to see what his take is because I might have a different take on it. But yeah, man, let's get it. All right, man. Torture Talk after hours. You know what it is. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you want to donate, Cash App is right on the screen. So Jalopy Bungus decided to do a. He said that Man at the Garden is more relevant than ever. I want to see his take on this. And see how he feels about this. So let's get into it.
The 1 year anniversary of GNX is tomorrow. And for all my OGs, and I mean the OGs that's been on this channel, I'm pretty sure that you've seen my series I Deserve It All, which was basically documenting the steps after Kendrick Lamar declared with this song, Man at the Garden. And I'll get into what I mean by declared as we break down this song. But it's ironic because this saga of Man at the Garden has actually continued. Because initially, when Man at the Garden drops, this is before he sweeps the Grammys. This is before the Super Bowl stadium. This is Super Bowl performance. This is before the stadium tour. This is before all of the accolades that have been pouring in for Kendrick Lamar. And what we really gonna do here is break down how this isn't something that's just for Kendrick Lamar. Like, this is something that if you are able to align and adjust your frequency and recognize that you are worthy, right? Worthy of whatever it is that you want because you are born here, right? Not because you have this, you have that, or you did, but you're born. So automatically the abundance is yours. And
Yeah, no, a lot of people ain't gonna like that statement because a lot of people apparently hate America for good reason. I'm not gonna sit here and cat, but like, like people just hating America for no reason. Like, no, that's not the case. America has a lot of atrocities that it has done, and so has other countries. So, but I traveled the world, and there ain't no better country than this one to actually for what he's talking about, the opportunities. Now, living in is something different. If you got money and you can live somewhere else, yeah, it probably would be a good move. But here is, when you're born here, you definitely have an abundance at your fingertips. I think a lot of us, black, white, Asian, whoever was born here, I think a lot of us, we take advantage of not taking advantage. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us do live off of how would I say? A lot of us I ain't gonna say have no choice, because I believe all of us have a choice as long as we apply ourselves. Some people are born into different circumstances, but I've seen worser things happen, and people still overcome the adversity. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get more into that. This is probably gonna be a really deep episode.
and what we talk about in the other videos is that Kendrick Lamar, throughout his music, you hear him consistently talk about survivor's guilt, right? Surviving something, or surviving a situation, or surviving an environment that others did not get to survive, something that you came out of that others didn't get to survive, where other people didn't get to come with you, right? The things that brings onto people, the type of heaviness, or the type of guilt, or whatever that brings to people, can be debilitating. And the opposite side of that lack of self-worth, or that savior complex, or whatever, is the worthiness, the self-worthiness, recognizing that it doesn't take external things, external possessions, external validation, whatever, for you to recognize that your value is already here based on your existence alone. Your
Okay, so man, he might be talking. He might be talking not just America. I believe he's talking spiritually. But I will say that he's right about that. He's right about your existence alone is a gift to you. I've never really been a person into a lot of different religions and stuff like that, but I will say that it is a mystery how you wake up and how you fall asleep. That's a whole nother conversation. I actually studied dreams years ago, but dreams are definitely a parallel a universe, and that we all go to, and it's just a whole separate topic. But I understand what he's saying. It's basically on you to hit the ground and running,
The fact that you're walking around, breathing, talking, you've experienced love, fear, all this different stuff. You have a unique perspective, a unique idea, and a unique experience. This is what makes you special. And when people tap into that energy, you automatically attract everything that is for you. Right? And if you believe that you are blessed, then these will be blessings. And this is what I hear when I listen to the song. So what we're going to do is break down the song and the lyrics first. Then we're going to break down the situation and this current situation that's been going on where Kendrick Lamar's success is being used against him and how that amplifies this song even more. Okay? So first, in this first verse, all you're hearing is these positive affirmations. Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve it all. Light minds and less enemies. Stock investments, more entities. I deserve it all. VVS's, white diamonds. Like, even the material things. Because why not? I feel like, especially when you go on your spiritual journey, like Kendrick Lamar has, there could be this idea of, especially when you listen to Kendrick's music, of like that chain is not gone, and looking at this idea of having these things as something that is anti-underground or something that is.
Well, I will say this. It's a couple of reasons why this is the way it is. See, us as black people, a lot of us I grew up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are used to not having nothing. And then when we did get something, even at that lower level, we were looked down upon, because when you're used to not having nothing, when you see somebody with something, you make fun of that. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, I had an Infinity. Yeah, I'm saying Infinity car. And this dude I was real cool with. I ain't cool with, but I known him. And he gets off the bus. And this is how proud black people are, but at the same time, self-centered in a way. You know what I'm saying? So it blinds them. So he gets off the bus and he says, off the bus, he literally gets off the bus, and he has a big hole in the side of his shirt. And he's like, he comes up to me and he said, man, he said, I'm sitting in the car, like the side of the door, and I'm about to get out the car. Like, man, get this nut ass Infinity out of here. And I'm saying to myself, like, and he was serious. It wasn't like, it's like, oh, this car corny, bro. And I'm saying to myself, you don't even have a car. But see, even speaking on him not having a car looks like, or it sounds like I'm thinking I'm better than him. But him coming to me and saying, oh, this is a corny car, looks like he's jealous of me. And this is the gap that a lot of us as black people, we struggle with. Because when is it appropriate for you to actually say that you made it and you celebrate, versus when is it appropriate, not even appropriate, but when is it okay for you to criticize somebody? Because the whole ideology, the whole idea of you you becoming successful is you supposed to come back and help the people that's there out. Not, it's always on the person up here, but it's never on the person down here trying to get out. So it's always, oh, you got out and you never gave back. And it's like, well, wait a minute. What about, how did I get out? How did I get out? Was I lucky or did I just work hard? So you're holding me at a standard for me to reach back and pull people up, but you're not holding people at a standard to actually climb the ladder to reach my hand. I don't understand that. And I think that's the battle that we're consistently fighting with between each other.
Anti people first, or like you get what I'm saying, just really indulging in what comes with the capitalist system can also feel like you're doing something wrong. And I feel like when you listen to Kendrick's music, there's a lot of times where you hear him struggle with this. You hear him struggle with his success and the things that he's gaining and what that really means and what position that puts him in the culture, right?
Another thing that I noticed too about people when it comes to, I seen somebody made a comment on my other page, and he said, "Oh, I'm always with you until you talk about capitalism." Like I said before, man, we all have our differences and opinions. I respect yours, you respect mine. That's what it is. Like, it's hard to not be a capitalist, and I'll explain. As you get more successful, you become more of a capitalist. That's the best way I could put it. As you get more successful, you become more of a capitalist. The system is set up that way. It is, and I understand that there's disparities that push certain people out. Don't get me wrong, or don't give people special privileges to access to certain things. Let's just be clear. I understand that, but you do have to understand that the system is set up for you to pull yourself up. Going back to what I said, when someone makes it out of the hood, what are they supposed to do? Grab somebody and pull them up, right? But the thing is, most people don't want to climb that ladder. They have been indoctrinated into being lazy, or they are incapable. Be clear, it's not people that just are just lazy. There's some people who really can't do it because they never learned how to do it. And then that's where you come in and you do go back and help or pull them up. You know what I'm saying? For the people who are incapable or don't know, you know what I'm saying, or need guidance. Yes, that's true. You definitely need to help them. But the people who actually are physically or smart, you ever heard the teacher ever say, this guy is he's smart. He knows all this work, but he just don't want to do the work. Or he just want to be a thug. A lot of thugs are smart, but they just don't want to take the avenue of schooling. So I understand the gripe people have with capitalism. Nothing's perfect, but I also understand the gripe people have with socialism. Nothing's perfect. You know what I'm saying? But again, that mind state, in my opinion, that mind state comes from us being together, and you don't like the fact that somebody has more than you, even if you're black. You don't like the fact that, you know, you have to be on a certain level. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like to hear that, but it's the truth. Like, a lot of us are upset that some of our family members or some people have more than us, or some people got lucky. It's like, or some people don't deserve it. We feel some type of way. It's just human nature. If somebody has 50 cars and 3 mansions and it's only two of them, and you got 8 people in your house, you gonna feel some type of way. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where people have an issue with capitalism at, right there, because they say, oh, look at you, have all this abundance. But trust and believe, rich people have this big thing where they want to be as normal as possible, and they can't. It's impossible for rich people to be normal because they're already at a certain level and they can't even go backwards. They can't walk the streets. They can't do that. So So the silver lining is a lot of people who are unfortunate or don't have as much as rich people, they actually live better lives in a way. They just don't have the abundance they have. But most people are like, it's just crazy how you can be on a lower level and be depressed, and on a higher level and be depressed. So it really doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? In a way, honestly, I would rather be on a higher level and be depressed. Gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie about that.
Problem is that perspective is aligned with the outside perception. This song, in my perspective, while connecting it to Kendrick's other music, is him saying, no, regardless of what you think, regardless of how my success makes you feel, regardless of my abundance and my light makes you shrink or makes you dim, that does not mean that I don't deserve everything that is called to me. And one of the most difficult things in life to do, I think, when you come from this that experience in this environment, is receiving, especially when you grow up in hyper-masculine environments, because now there's not really energy to learn how to receive because you just in the masculine. Where the feminine is where you practice and learn to receive, which is why I think Kendrick mentioned that in his interview with SZA, right? Because it's extremely important. So put my homies on the beachfront, flying private, what you eat for lunch, out of the respect and the accolades. The respect and the accolades.
I've been saying this a long time, that a lot of y'all, and it goes back to what I'm saying, accolades are very polarizing in the black community for some reason. Because again, I think that we have, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I think it is kind of something wrong. But at the same time, I'm on the fence with this one. I think that most black people have a group way of thinking, and I think we were trained that way. I hate to say it like that, but I believe that everybody in the hood that I'm from have basically the same mentality. Yeah, I mean, most of it is survival, right? But a lot of it, I hate to say this, but a lot of it is delusional. Not delusional on their part, but a lot of it is an illusion, I should say, not delusional. Wrong words. A lot of them are, it's an illusion. It's put to you in a way where you believe that you are being held back by the system. But I have to ask a question. One of my good friends, right? He has 2 master's degrees. Two master's degrees. Very intelligent man. Came from a great household. You know what I'm saying? Mom and father still married. Me, my mom raised me half my life, then my dad raised me until my dad passed away, right? My dad was a successful man. He owned 4 houses. He never finished college. The point I'm making is the roadblocks that are put in front of you are just an illusion. Every roadblock, every one of them there is an obstacle to get around. I don't care if it's 100 years in prison. It's still an obstacle to get around it. That's why they have lawyers. That's why they have things like, so you have to understand that everybody in this country, especially us as black, we're not incapable of getting around these obstacles. But the way it's presented to us as if you can't get around the obstacle. The environment that you put in, the environment that you're around, the liquor stores on every corner, fast food everywhere, it's put to you like, this is what you want and you stay here. You know what I'm saying? Whether people say it's a form of redlining and all that stuff, just understand this is what it is. So when Kendrick Lamar says these things, you have to understand that when he said he deserved it all, it's because the environment that he came out of, that's a job in itself. Getting out of that type of environment, that's a job in itself. So when he said he deserved it all, that's what he means. And the accolades are a big thing because a lot of us don't want to ever champion. It's called trophy syndrome, where everybody wants everybody to be the winner. When you were a child, you ain't have no losers in baseball when you were a kid because everybody's the winner. But that's not reality. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we don't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose, especially us, because we've been losing all our lives. So we don't like to lose, you know?
And this is why tomorrow I plan on talking about. No, I'm gonna do it tomorrow morning. I'm gonna break down a Wale song as well because Wale's album reminds me of the fact that they don't have to be separate. And I said this in an interview that I just did that's gonna come out soon, but that the quality of your lyricism and the message does not have to be separate from the good feel vibe and having a great time. Wale shows this. Wale shows this in Everything Is a Lot, where he's able to make bangers, get on songs like with Shabuzi and make, you know what I'm saying, and transition over while also maintaining, you know, the lyricism, maintaining the storytelling and all that. Something Kendrick Lamar does. Usually, they want to separate this. You can't have the quality and the industry, right? Which is the accolades.
That was my point in one of my other videos. They 100% want to separate that. You can't be successful and have all these awards. There has to be something wrong. It has to be. Kendrick Lamar is the perfect balance of what a real MC is and a successful MC. And it just so happens that when you root for Kendrick, you root for hip hop. I'm not gonna lie. The more I think about it, the more I think about it, the more I realize that this is why Kendrick Lamar is the greatest of all time, because there's no smut on his name. You don't really have a scandal you can throw on him. And the accolades is what makes people remember you more than the hits. You can have 100 hits. But it's the accolades. Prince doesn't have as many hits as Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But it's what he done. You know what I'm saying? His accolades. Same thing. Even Michael Jackson's a very interesting one because he has a lot of accolades as well. You know what I'm saying? And he is pretty good too. I never understood, even when Kendrick said this, I didn't understand the comparison between Michael Jackson and Drake. I just didn't understand. I guess because conceptually, you would beat Prince and he would beat Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson, I don't know. I disagreed with that point that Kendrick made. But yeah.
You can't have the quality, the integrity, and the things that come with it. And what we're seeing is the fact that doesn't have to be true. The quality music can be the most rewarding music. The music that's good can be the most rewarding music. The most talented individual that puts his time into this work can be the biggest artist in the world. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Okay? So the respect and the accolades, they don't have to be separate. For every good person, nigga that passed away, sent 2.5 million on an average day. Right? We 7 minutes in the video. I can say whatever. But sent 2.5 million on an average day. For every negative situation, for every person that I lost, for everything that I experienced in negative, bring me abundance. For everything that I lost in the past, bring me abundance now. That's the wielding the frequency around you, wielding the energy of the world around you. You see what I'm saying? Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside a beast. I deserve it all. More money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us. Why do you think that's so important to state? Why do you think that's so important to state? Because a lot of the times, especially when you are, you know, we've been listening to Kendrick Lamar for years. High Power. You go back to songs like High Power. And you think about his perspective on the industry and all that different stuff, right? There could be a negative concept or a negative outlook on money. Or when you come...
Well, money is... and I know he might explain it a little bit differently, but money is money is the only thing on earth that people considered evil, and it has "In God We Trust." Money is one of those things where everybody wants it. Money gives you so many different advantages. Sometimes money could give you power. Sometimes money could give you respect. There's one thing money can't give you, though, is love. Money can't give you love, because for anybody that would like you because you have money, that's not love. That's the only thing money can't do. Is what was that song? I think it was the Beatles. Can't buy me love. You know what I mean? Like, you can give a girl everything. That's why you get women buying men all of these different things, and the man still does still does them dirty, because it's not about the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, respect comes from, you only get respect from people with the same amount of money, or just a little bit really the moves you do. But when Kendrick say more money, you have to understand, and I keep going back to this, we live in this world where money matters. You could talk you can be the greatest thing ever. You could talk and talk and talk and talk. But if you don't have anybody to back you or fund you, it doesn't matter. You're just going to be talking to a wall. So money does matter. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. And it's how calculated with it you are. If you're not really you could be rich and still be stupid. Don't get me wrong, but you have to be calculated. So some rich people just they inherited the money. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't like, oh, you get a pass because you're rich. No, it's a lot of complicated parts.
From certain environments where there wasn't a lot of money, or when you hear things like money gonna change and boom, boom, and all that different stuff, you can look at money from a negative perspective. Money can be looked at in a negative light, when once again, it doesn't have to be. It's all about perception and perspective and what you do with that. So yes, there could also be this idea that the closer you are to God, the less you should have this money, power, and freedom. And I think this song is one of those things that is saying, that doesn't have to be the case. I can do all of this. I can wield all of this. It is difficult, but it takes discipline, submission, intention, and all these different things to make this, to still walk with God, to still walk in your light and have this, right? It's possible. And that's why this song is so powerful. Here we go. I deserve it all because my intentions was pure, right? And this is the thing. Your intentions and what you do sometimes don't align. Another thing that Kendrick Lamar expresses in his music consistently, right? But your intentions, your energy, the universe isn't reading from a perspective of good and bad. It's reading from a perspective of what do you really want from the root, and I'll give it to you. And that's why when you're operating from runes, you sometimes wonder like, damn, why do I keep attracting the same thing over and over again, the same event over and over again? It's because that's actually what you wanted, because you're operating from the wound.
That's a great point. I always, and this is just me, maybe I'm more Kendrick-like when it comes to certain things, but my intentions are always pure. I am not a person who is devious or I don't care even if you disagree with me. I can never get on here and say certain things that some of y'all be saying. I don't know Drake personally. I don't want him to get deleted. Now, I see people say that. You know what I'm saying? But my intentions has always been pure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might make jokes, but I love discourse on every side. I want to talk to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody I want to talk to. So if I can help anybody, even my I'm not gonna say enemy, because I don't think people are out here trying to help their enemies. But even if I can help people who disagree with me, I will. because everybody, for some reason, don't understand that no matter how much you look at it, everybody has some type of common ground that they can agree on. Nobody is 100% on one side of something and you're on the other side of something. We're humans. You agree on something. You agree on something. There's no part. You're not on a certain spectrum where it's like, well, I don't agree on nothing, and we don't agree on nothing. Like, no, there's something you agree on. But just understand, if your intentions are pure and not pure hatred, then things will probably be different for you. But if your intentions are pure and you have a little bit of hatred in there, and it's like, yeah, this and that, you're going to attract those type of people. And then what happens is when you decide that you want to be more pure and you want to kind of walk away from this little bit of hatred, they're going to start turning on you because they expect you to be just like them. So when your intentions is pure, just understand that that's a big deal and just keep it that way. You know what I mean?
Right? I think Mr. Morale and this song too is like Mr. Morale is like digging up all the dirt out of the wound, right? And kicking it to the side. And GNX is like what it looks like when, the scab is starting to look like your skin. You feel what I'm saying? When the scab is no longer scabby, it's starting to look like the skin. You feel me? And that's my perspective of Mr. Morale to GNX. And when you hear, because my intentions was pure. Yes, Kendrick got into this game with a certain intention. He might have did things wrong, went this way, doing this way. But at the end of the day, he always back to the root and the source, right? And that's what we can do in our everyday lives in order to continue to attract what's for us. Even when you weren't sure, even with every allure, how much temptation you endured, you probably look for every cure. How many times have you?
That's a very good point. A lot of people don't understand, like, when he says you probably look for every cure, most people don't know it starts with you. They feel like, because the society is structured, or how it's built is people always look for other people to help them out of a situation, and they don't actually work hard enough or even put the ownership on themselves. It's like, well, you're supposed to do this, you know what I mean? Because this is what you have it, so give it. You know what I'm saying? But when he says you probably look for every cure, the cure starts with you. Most people don't understand that. There's a saying that says the heaviest weight at the gym is you pulling the front door. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that, when people have an abundance, they're supposed to give it. And they don't feel like they have to work for it. But I think that it kind of lends back to what he was saying. I mean, how much temptation you endured. You probably look for every cure, because a lot of people, they love temptation, but they don't want to get fixed. Or if they do get fixed, they don't want to say it's their fault that they need the help. They'll say, well, it's your fault. I need the help. You know what I'm saying? So what's the point I'm making?
You look to temptation or look to your vices to soothe you, right? This is why I deserve it all. Because I have gone through this. I've been through the temptation. I've been through the allures. I've been through what it looks like to lose things because of your vices or because of your direction at that time, right? He says, I know what that's like, and I've defeated, like he said, it reincarnated, right? Took control of my fleshly body when the money came, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like I deserve it all because I endured that and I came back to myself. I came back to the root. I fought through all of the noise and and I'm still my heart is still at its source.
That's a very good point. Excuse me. I'm going to do two parts to this video. I'm going to stop it here and I'm going to do another part because this is going to be like an hour long and I don't want to make it an hour long. So I'm going to do two parts. So you're going to see this part and then probably in a couple of days, I'm going to finish it out, or I'm going to finish recording it and then I'm going to put it out in a couple of days. So, but what he just said at the end, yeah, a lot of people don't understand, like, your heart is definitely pure in the beginning. We all have pure hearts until we get indoctrinated in so many different ways. So, but shout out to Jalopy. I'm gonna do a second part to this because I have a lot more to say, and I'm sure he does too. I would actually love to talk to him about this one day. I think me and him can actually sit down and have a conversation. I'll probably invite him to my studio, which would be a surprise because I wouldn't tell everybody. We'll just pop up. Him, DeVille, a couple people, Kid Kiss, some of these couple people that I would probably do this with. So, but thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Talk to Talk After Hours. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace, bye.